Hey, welcome back to the channel. I'm going to be talking about some old barlows. These are old barlows. From the 1940s, pre-1940s. And, you know, if you look here, you get some old type vehicles here from the 1920s, circa 1920. This is old 1912 model truck. This is a Rolls Royce. It's English, but these are the type of knives that somebody driving this truck might have had in their pocket. So if you'd like to check these knives out, we'll see you in the video. Oh no, I can't believe you have cavities. What is a cavity?
A cavity is dark.
It's dark.
And brown. It's brown, not dark.
Did the dentist show you a cavity?
Yeah, there's 2 cavities in here.
Wow. Have you been eating candy? Yeah. Hey, welcome back to the Fortified Castle. Hi, all my viewers. Before we get into this, I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for clicking on this video, for your likes, your shares, and your comments. It all helps the channel, and I really appreciate it. And so, yeah, we're going to be looking at these old Barlows. This is a granddaddy Barlow. It's still a Barlow. This is an old Boker. You can see the tree here. This is an old Robinson. All of these predate 1940 and really probably predate 1920. All of these. So we'll talk about that as we get into the video and look at these old knives. You know, if you're watching the video, you probably love Barlows and probably collect Barlows, like this case right here. Really popular knife for collecting and using. A lot of people just love using these things. For me, this is a little small to use, and I don't never really got into using these Barlows, but I do like to collect them. So yeah, let's look at some old Barlows. All right. So Barlows were always an inexpensive boy's knife. So they've only become fancy in recent history. Now, you know, they make some really fine ones. This is one right here in Stag from Boker. Just a beautiful knife. And so, yeah, I mean, up until the 60s or probably the 70s, they were just a boy's knife. And doesn't mean that men didn't use these too, but that's what they were meant to be, an inexpensive boy's knife. They were 3 3/8 inches. All of these right here are 3 3/8 inches. Matter of fact, I think they all are. I do have some Barlows that are a little bigger. You can see right here, they're all 3 3/8. Yeah, 3 3/8, all of them. So that's pretty much standard size, but you'll see them up to 3.5, sometimes 3 5/8. But these are the 2 main sizes right here. This is a regular Barlow at 3 3/8, and then there's the Granddaddy, which was 5 inches or thereabouts. Some companies made them a little smaller, some made them a little bigger. But you can see it still has the oversized bolster. Kind of the definitive thing on a Barlow is this oversized bolster here. So the other thing about these Barlows is some are single bladed. This is a single blade Russell, genuine Russell. Russell had suspended making knives in the during the First World War. So America entered that in 1917, and around 1928 they started making knives again. And then World War II broke out, and they quit making pocket knives altogether. And so these barlows can be dated to really narrow time frame. Looking at this, one of the things you notice about old barlows is they have steel liners, steel bolsters, and steel pins on them, and that kind of tells you this is a little older. And you see that carried over into this Robeson. So you can see the little small irregular pins, uh, carbon steel bolster, carbon steel liner. That was, they were inexpensive knives. Really cool. RCC, Robeson Cutlery Company. And the date on this, let's see. So this one was produced between 1921 and 1940. Usually on these older barlows, you're going to find that it's either bone scales on them or uh, wood scales on them. This is bone too, by the way, but bone or wood scales on them. This is a two-bladed variety. It is made, let me see here. Yeah, I'm going to have to open this up. So I don't think that's a good design when you have to open the blade up to get to the other blade here. And the blade may have been replaced at some point, but you can see Valley Forge Cutlery Company, Newark, New Jersey, right there, and that's on both blades. But you see the Boker tree on here. This is really unusual. It's a step bolster, and Boker, of course, gained control of Valley Forge Cutlery, and that's where they got their knife making material from. In 1921, Boker moved the company to Mayfield, New Jersey. And so these ones dated that had Newark on them, Valley Forge Newark, are going to be prior to 1921. I think this is a really early Boker prior to 1909, because when Boker gained control of Valley Forge, they used the Valley Forge stamp, but they circled the back with they stamped the back of the tangs with a circle and VF on it, and those are clearly Boker knives. And this knife doesn't have that, and so I think it's a pre-1909 knife, and I really think this knife is probably around 1900, 1905, somewhere in there, based on just the quality of this knife and the fact that I have a 1909 catalog, and this pattern does not show up in the catalog. You'll notice the big crown mushroom brass pins. Those aren't original, so this knife has been repaired before. And you can see right there's a pin, and that's a carbon steel pin, and that's a carbon steel pin right there. So this knife has been repaired and these brass pins put into it. But yeah, I think this is a pretty early Boker Barlow. Pretty cool. I just love that bolster on it. And that's a cool thing about these bolsters too. Patty's Potato Peeler has a really cool Barlow collection where he has collected these Barlows that have different stampings on their bolsters. Here you see the Robeson Cutlery Company, stamping on that, and it's just a great palette for it, and it maintains the beauty of the scale without putting something all over the scale. And so that's a really cool collection. You should look up his video on that and see all the different ones that he has. But the this is a pattern. This Barlow pattern is a pattern that through time has not really changed a whole lot. As I mentioned, all the newer ones I have are pretty much the same size, same kind of knife. Now the materials have changed. You know, after the 20s, most companies adopted brass. Certainly after World War II, they were all making them in brass liners, and this is a synthetic type of material. This is a Cutmaster Barlow, and they just put Barlow on there, but you can see the pins are well formed in the same size. That's another trend that happened around 1920. The pins got to be the same size no matter what the pin was. And this is a 1950. Hold on here. This is a 1979. You can see in the 70s they're starting to make these a little more special and collectible, and they're moving away from that boy's knife kind of mentality. This is a Schrade, and from 1979. I really like this. Wish companies would do more of this in Barlows. But you can see what I'm talking about. The pins are all the same size, and brass liners. But this is Delrin scales. So after the 60s, you know, they're using mostly Delrin on these knives. This is a 2008 Boker. Again, 3 3/8 inches, but this is in stag. It's pretty fancy, but still has brass liners on it. And this was a club knife. So Wheeler Basin Club 2008. That's a deep stamp in the blade. This is 1 of 50, and it's a gold leaf there coated on there. You can see it's Boker Soligen, a little thinner. So if you look at your standard, it's about the same as this, but it is a little thinner and a little more bolster there. And so bolsters were typically a third of the size of the knife on a Barlow. And then finally, this is a 2022 really nice Barlow, two-bladed Barlow produced by Case. Beautiful saw cut bone on here. Just a perfect little knife here. And show you that. It's stamped limited edition. Pretty cool looking blade on there. But still, hasn't changed much from the saw cut Robertson. You'll notice the bolsters are different, and this is a regular jack pattern. So the regular jacks had a small tail, and then it graduated evenly up to a wider head. Typically, the difference between the size up here and down here was about 3/16 of an inch. So very slight gradual increase in size. The round bolster is a sleeve board. So this is a sleeve board pattern. This is a regular jack pattern. And you can find both these variations in Barlows throughout. There's your sleeve board pattern, and this one's a regular jack pattern. So just really neat having these old ones right here. Hope you enjoyed the video. Really appreciate spending the time with you and showing these old knives. I just love holding these things and having them. Don't, like I said, I don't really carry barlows and use them because they're just normally too small for me. I do carry some of these, not this one because it's so old, but I do carry Granddaddy barlows from time to time. We'll see you in the next video.